Hey guys, welcome to the Blue Collar Business Podcast, where we discuss the realest, rawest, most relevant stories and strategies behind building every corner of a blue collar business. I'm your host, Cy Kirby, and I want to help you in what it took me, trial and error, and a whole lot of money to learn. The information that no one in this industry is willing to share. Whether you're under that shade tree or have your hard hat on, let's expand your toolbox. Welcome back to the show, everybody. I have been really looking forward to this episode for some time. This has been in the works. I'm so glad to bring somebody live to you in the studio. This is, furthermore, Austin Stabler with Stabler Excavating from Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Yeah, based in Ann Arbor and Dexter. We don't have an actual permanent home base yet like you.
Okay, well, I don't know if you say that we're everywhere, but yeah, we've got kind of a home base here in Northwest Arkansas. But how did Mr. Austin and me become a thing? Last year, as you guys know,
September.
Yep, September. I was, I don't know if you guys know, but if you guys are watching on the YouTube channel of Excavation and Utilities, shameless plug there. I was getting rid of some of our older dump trucks. And
The problematic dump truck.
no, buddy.
No, it's a good dump truck.
It's been
Perfect.
This guy rode her hard and put it up wet every single day.
Hard.
But it's been a true story, and I think this story between our relationship behind the scenes of year 3, 4, right in between the mix.
This isn't for specifically excavating like 3.
Okay. And obviously, year 9 starts for me next month, so we've got a pretty good depth here. I'm really excited for this conversation.
They've basically been in business like for excavation, triple the amount of time.
Exactly. And some of our conversations are pretty lengthy at times. You know, when you're asking questions, I'm also...
There's the middle of the day conversations, then there's the end of the day conversation.
Not every day I try. By God, I try, but anyways, furthermore, man, what do you do? Why did you choose it? Those are my first 2 questions for you, man. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Give us a brief intro and why you chose blue collar in general in the trades. Is there another trade that you were venturing into? Why excavation? As we know, profit margin sucks. Overhead's heavy.
It's not something you really look at in the beginning.
True.
The profit margin. I mean, I don't even think really you know until you're doing it. Okay, first question was, what do I do?
Yes, sir.
So it's right now, kind of the market that we're trying to, what did we say yesterday? Try to capitalize on, like
capture
what we want our, part of your brand, like what we want to be our mojo. That's a lot of residential, had a couple of commercial septic systems, but they're, compared to like what you're doing, they're a lot different in Michigan.
And real quick, to throw that in there for me being in the southeastern United States, this is something that has been rather intriguing to learn about, is that the septics up there are so different than down here. You know, we've got a chance to speak to some of my guys, and we're, you know, a 1,500 tank or a 2,000-gallon tank with a D-box and 4 lines. I mean, that's a big boy system to us. And up there, you're talking about, 20-foot deep to hit native sand. So when he says, lining up on just a septic can be a little bit scary for some people, because, like, down here, we're thinking high volume. You're going to have cranking them out a week.
But a day when it might take us, on a big system, if trucking, depending on how much trucking has to go on, like the 19-foot deep one, depending if we have another company hauling or if we're doing it. If we're doing it, maybe we'll budget a week for it. But, a big trucking company that can have 6, 7 trucks on it in a day, that makes it a little stressful getting it all in there in one day. But
of course,
you can do that in, that system with digging. You can dig it in a day, 19 feet.
Yeah.
It's a long day.
Very long.
But...
are you renting a piece of equipment, or let us know about what's Stabler Excavating got equipment wise? Because there's a lot of guys that you're I mean, I started in the same spot that you're in, and there's a lot of guys out there that are trying to go from that side of the table to my side of the table with 20, 25 pieces of equipment, but they just don't know how. So what do you got now? What are you thinking about? You've been renting some equipment.
Yeah. And then also the equipment's a big deal, like figuring out where you're going so you don't just have a million pieces, that maybe sit there and you're paying on, or it's hard to get back from that. I think we've talked about that a little bit, just like me taking my next steps in equipment, and what is the best. You've talked about that on a couple podcasts, lease or pay. But it's okay right now. We have a 306, Cat 306. We've had it for maybe a year and a half.
Got some attachments with that as well.
Yeah, I bought it with the TRS-6 tilt rotator, the Caterpillar one. I have the smooth, I don't even know the width on it, ditching bucket.
Okay.
24-inch, tooth bucket, 12-inch, little trenching bucket, root ripper, grapple. I think that's it. Then a 259 Cat skid steer. Had that a few months longer than the 306. Just a bucket and pallet forks for that. We don't really do a whole lot of like brush stuff with it, so would be nice to have a Harley rake. They're just like,
oh, I have one, man. I love it. Well,
it's hard. I mean, finding a used one that you don't have to dump a bunch of money into versus buying a brand new one. But honestly, last year we used one a lot. This year, I don't think I've used one once.
Right.
So like last year was like, okay, maybe we'll spend the $15 on it. And now they're another $3,000. But then we haven't used
I
them.
bought my Harley rake for $7,200. 80.
How long ago?
8 years ago.
Yeah, dude.
6 years ago, something like that.
Caterpillar, at least where we're at,
I don't have it anymore, but either way,
like 15 to 18 grand.
Oh my God, we can get into costs here in a minute, but so speaking on a little bit of costs and equipment, you've got some equipment, you've got some really nice trucks. Let's be honest, you're proud of them truckies, because as you should be, man. They're gorgeous, and the branding you've got going, all black equipment. I think you. I know you want to stray away from that, but seriously, right now, all your equipment's black. It's a branding statement. You're working on your dump truck.
It costs a lot.
It does. It does. Branding and marketing costs a lot of money. I'm finding out myself in year 9 because, thank God I've met a few people along the way that can help me and push me in that realm, because I don't. It feels unnatural to us.
A lot of excavated companies that spend the money.
They don't.
At least probably it's probably started. What do you think? The last 5 years it started. So there's not like a
agreed. Even 3
you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
But like what I'm getting at is it's not like there's a veteran that can teach you in excavating than there is for branding. Like maybe for a big commercial company like
you hire
Walmart or something.
At that point, you hire an in-house team, or you go find like I did, a different team to help you brand and market, etc. Just like we're doing here.
Yeah,
podcast videos.
That
you know what I mean?
Vibe with, that have the same, you're not doing the same industry, but
exactly.
You guys can connect and they care.
So, speaking on equipment, speaking some pretty trucks, and keep saying it costs the money. Why'd you do it, man? Why'd you jump into blue collar? Why was it? And when you were sitting there talking about going into the trades, why'd you not go to college? I
did. I just didn't finish.
No, I understand, but you ended up in this trade, and I think that's intriguing for a lot of folks sitting out there.
Yeah, it's everybody's is different for sure. Mine was kind of longer, that like my journey to figure out. I would say I grew up in like my dad owned a trucking company, and I really thought that's what I was going to do because I loved it. That's what I was obsessed with, and
still are.
Well, yeah, full circle. That's a big part of we're doing a lot of the deep septic systems, which there's, a
lot of trucking,
1,000 tons in a 16-foot deep system. Actually, just this morning in the hotel
room, so crazy to think about.
1,160 tons for 16 deep. We had to. This was in a different county than the one I'm telling you about, so we had to prepare the reserve field, which is the same square footage, but just not as deep.
Understood.
So, but it'll never get used. It's just I've never actually had to do that yet. So it's not anything weird. Just digging a hole and filling it with sand.
Yeah, but the operation of such can be a lot. But why, man? Why? Let's hear the story.
Wait,
why'd you jump in?
Okay. Well, I was going to school for business, and that is just not the degree to get. I mean, I didn't even open a book, and I was 3.3 in it, you know. It really just does not teach you. Actually, the accounting, I should have paid a little bit more attention.
Agreed.
For business degree, where I was at, you only had to take 2 classes, you know, so I actually probably could have learned a little bit more, but I always had that stupid thing in the back of my head, like, well, my whole family's in accounting. I don't need to be in it too, you know, which Mark Cuban said it was, it was some video that I watched with him, and it was like, you have to at least know to communicate.
Have to.
So if I don't know as much accounting as I should, and you're my accountant, like, and I'm just bamboozled on what's going on,
Yep.
you know,
100%.
It really makes even just in being the owner in the piece of equipment harder.
Yep.
You know, sure you can ballpark your cash flow, but I mean, how you get there is hard.
Very hard.
So, but back to why I got into it.
We were in school doing business.
Yeah. And,
Figured out that's not the thing for us.
No, there was like a little kind of puddle jumpers on how I got to starting my own business.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, I got a burr up my ass, and I said, I'm not doing this BS anymore. And I started my business not really knowing what I wanted to do. So I had the dump trailer, the F-250. I bought a skid steer right before COVID, and this is before I even knew how to hunt for work, find it, who to talk to, nothing.
Yep.
Just bought it thinking like work would come to me because people knew I had a skid steer. So I couldn't afford it, not having work. And so I sold that. I was able to, you know, afford a truck and a trailer payment, you know, and that's all I had. So the first year, I just hustled off the Facebook groups like, I need this brush cleaned up.
There is so much to be said about Facebook groups.
Yeah.
Like your local pages.
Even right now, I'm still hustling off it. Like, doesn't matter.
I still get tagged on there for bigger stuff all the time.
Yes.
Hey, I need a big dozer because, you know, this contractor, I can't tell you. But there's people ask me all the time, how do you find work? Well, just post it on Facebook Marketplace. Throw it in some.
No, not Marketplace.
What I'm saying is throw a Marketplace ad, and then you can go ahead and hit all of those groups at one time with a basic, hey, I've got a machine. I don't know if you know that, but you can basically make a Marketplace ad and then hit every single one of those groups that you want to hit at one time. Yeah. Sorry.
So what I do is I post on my business page, and then my personal page shares it. Like I'm Austin Stabler. This is what we do. So like we have an Ann Arbor Horse People group, and I was like, this is who I am.
Man, that's good.
What we do. This is how our services can help the horse community. Water lines, we can help put in the hydrants.
Horse arenas, bro. They're huge.
Trucking material, you know, stuff like that. So that's how maybe you need a driveway put in. This is how this service that we do can help you with that. Or you want to build a bigger pasture and you need to clear some trees, you know. That actually did really well.
So this is more year one after you've got in the business, and year two, you'd say?
This is like the start of year 3 in strictly excavating.
Okay.
Well, so the 2024 season.
Okay.
So I mean, like 2.5 years of just excavating.
Okay. And when did you buy your gear? In that
So
route?
The first year I rented everything.
Which is not a bad plan, especially right now, guys.
Honestly, it's actually the 306 and the skid steer, right, you know, like when I first started, when I didn't need it every day, or like, renting is the best.
100%.
Now, though, like, at least for those pieces, because we use them so often, it makes sense to buy. Because, dude, I mean, you cut that bill in half. You know, if you rent it, I don't know, I guess the month rentals are getting cheaper now, but the day to week, you know, that's where it eats you alive.
Of course. Monthly rentals are for sure, and I need you guys to understand this, that is listening. Renting right now, this is in July, just the day before July 4th. I need you guys to understand that. Look at your rental houses. Look at the yards. They're full of equipment. There's 5, 6 dozers there. There's 10, 5, 15 skid steers there. That wasn't a thing a year ago. 2 years ago, 3 years ago. they didn't have that amount of equipment sitting on the yards all the time so you could just go and grab.
Really?
No.
We have a couple of big ones by us, AIS for, or McAllister.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like even since I've started, they've just been slammed full of equipment.
They could have been 100%, but I've got rental houses down here for the last 3 years. Well, I ain't got that. You got to call over here. Well, I ain't got that.
We have a lot of small ones that are always like that, though.
Off-road trucks. You couldn't rent an off-road truck for 3 or 4 years. Now we'll drive by Caterpillar here in a little bit, and there's 9 or 10 of them sitting in the yard. This is things that I'm noticing in year 9. Okay, because you're sitting here, and not to go off in the weeds, but you bought your Mini X and skid steer, right? Mm-hmm. I bought my first skid steer and leased my first Mini X, okay, which is, I couldn't do it. I couldn't own both of them because of first-time ownership. I was 23, et cetera, et cetera.
Weren't they Bobcats?
Yeah, they were Bobcats. So Bobcat, no, Sheffield financed it through Bobcat with my mom and my stepdad.
See, like, I'm Caterpillar Finance, they'll finance a Crackhead.
Oh, they literally will. Yeah. And I've got some cap financing.
Big enough down payment.
But back then, what I'm trying to get at is now you're not going to see, I ain't buying no more skid steers. I'm not buying no more Mini X's. Why? Well, that Bobcat Mini X that I had was on a 5-year note, 5-year lease, 4,300 hours. And I got told and I got sold on the fact that, hey, man, just bring it back to us when you're done. You won't have to do nothing, won't have to trade it in. You just have to have new tracks. I said, okay, no problem, bud. The door was cracked. All the window was in it. AC, everything worked. No leaks. No nothing. But there was some, a door wouldn't shut all the way. I mean, she was rode hard, but up wet. It's the first machine that built this place, right?
Yeah.
So we go to turn it in, and they're like,
the first piece of equipment that gets abused the most. And once you have 3 of them, one for each type of job that you do,
bet, man.
They don't get abused as much. The Minis do, though.
The Minis are always going to get abused. Anything under 20,000 pounds, because here's why, bro. When you, just like you're talking about your 306, you're using that 306. I can't tell you how many times I've heard it in the last day or so. The last day when we were driving around was, I do that with a 306. I do that. Well, it's because that's what you've got. Right?
No. Well, on some of them, like when we're yeah.
But what I'm getting at is that go ahead.
Well, like some of the jobs we've done, like I've said, I showed you those drone shots. Mm-hmm. You couldn't get a bigger machine in there.
That's what I'm getting.
But then you're right on. Like, okay, I dug stupid septic system, 10 foot deep, and it was like 1,600 square feet.
With a 306.
With the 306.
But what I'm getting at is we're always putting that small machine
because it's cheaper to run that thing
into a bigger application and trying to overwork a smaller machine in a bigger application.
Yeah.
So why would you not rent that? Because by the time or do this,
like rent it or lease it.
Okay, go put it on cat with a 3-year lease term, so you always have a brand new Mini every 3 years.
Yeah.
That way, what's the number one thing we're trying to avoid, Austin, in our world? No, downtime, my guy. Downtime will kill you faster than anything. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Overhead's just that, right?
Just that.
Mm-hmm. But downtime, like if I've got
you're trying to limit your downtime.
Oh, every single move I make.
At least for you had that month, it kind of seems like there's a little bit. I mean, we'll work no matter what. Unless it's piss and rain.
Yep.
It's muddy, but snow.
January
it moves.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys didn't leave your house for a month.
Well, what do you do a bunch? No, in January this year it was terrible. It was just so cold,
and we were installing concrete bollards. We started our wastewater plant in January.
They don't let you pour concrete down here unless it's like 35 and rising, bud, or asphalt, 40 and rising or asphalt.
They asked us to do it. We did it.
I mean, thank God the poopy's gonna flow. Come on.
No, they're it's for electrical panel for the pump station.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy. So what I'm getting at is
system in January.
We worked through wintertime, but this January this year was terrible weather-wise. Right. And then we had we had 2 working days in January in Northwest Arkansas. 2. Okay. And first time we ever didn't bill out as a company in 9 years. at this level now.
Well, tell me what the weather was like again. So it's sleeting or
Sleet, snow, ice. We get a lot of ice down here, man, because we're right on that snow line. Kansas City, Joplin, that in that area usually gets the last residual of Colorado. It usually doesn't hang down here, and then you've got the mountains bracing up against Oklahoma. So a lot of times we get a lot of ice and sleet rather than we do accumulative actual snow. But if you go 2 hours north, they're back up in that snow line. So talking about snow, I mean, you do snow. Do you do snow removal?
I did with a pickup for 2 years.
Profitable?
I think
time consuming?
I don't know. I wouldn't say I'm a good candidate to talk on that because I only did it for 2 years and I was leased to another company. But
good experience, bad experience?
Oh, I think it was a fantastic experience.
Okay.
I had fun, which is like this was my first year in business. I didn't know what to do during the winter. And,
you bet. Especially up there in the north.
Yeah, everybody says, "Oh, just go plow." So I had this, nicer truck at the time, that 2013.
Yep.
And I bought a brand new stainless steel V plow for it. Stupid. Wow. I'm always so torn because I paid cash for that, but then I lose $10,000 out of helping with monthly payments, especially during the winter. But anyway, but the first year I had first year plowing actually. So I forgot about that. I had another flatbed F350 dually that I bought the same plow for, and I tried having a guy plowing for me too. And the first 2 storms, he broke the plow every time, brand new. He's like, the front of the plow fell off. And I was like, what?
What
do you mean? He's like, just laying there.
It's just laying there, bud.
Yeah, brand new plow. But anyways.
Oh, my gosh, dude.
Yeah. And then,
can't even make it up.
That was actually my first bad employee.
Employees.
I think when you do realize you have a good one, though, you got to capitalize on it.
Oh, absolutely.
I think I messed up on about 2 of them where, I knew they were good, but I was all nervous to not give them too much right away. And
The thing is, Austin, with employees,
it's hard.
My worst battle I have with employees is exactly that. Is I've been burned so many times in the past that by people that were really close, people that weren't so close, been burned both ways, that when somebody does come along, it's like, oh, they're just doing that because they're setting me up to burn me, because you're like an abused dog as an entrepreneur. You get kicked all the time, and then somebody comes by to pet you, and you're just like, oh, no, you're going to kick me, man. Get back. And then a lot of times by the time you actually warm up to them, they're like, man, I've been trying for this joint. This place don't want me, and they feel kind of casted out because you've been kicked so many times. You couldn't stand there and have a conversation and get petted on, to be honest, for the analogy.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
You're nervous to stand there in the shop after work for an hour and hang out with the boys,
Oh, yeah. The separation line. I've had to learn that really hard in the last 5 years.
Well, but that's what I'm saying. So you have that good one which if you did that, it would benefit that relationship.
Yep.
But then there's the other one he's taking notes, and he's like
taking advantage every day.
The last one that I just had, ganked my truck.
Leading into the next thing, let's talk about some craziest things.
Finished anything?
We haven't. We're just gonna keep rolling. Craziest things with entrepreneurship, and lead into your employee story. This kind of gets this second segment going here, but tell us about your employee.
I don't think it was maybe outside looking in. It maybe wasn't as bad as I'm thinking it was. Because the first time something like that happened to me, at first I was like, now that I'm telling the story to you, you're kind of you're just like,
sorry. It's that abused dog mentality, man. I've had people that I've built house pads for their home to have, and
it's hard not to do that.
I want to take care of
stuff. Yeah,
but we need people like you sitting at that mic with me, going, "Hey, I want to do this too. I'm young. How old are you, man?"
26.
Okay, I'm 32. So here's this new generation that I've been talking about. That hey, we want to do this. But the system makes it so hard on us, let alone employees.
Even employees, though, have that hurt dog mentality.
Yes, of course they do.
The one that I just said maybe I had screwed up with and not capitalized on him enough.
Yeah.
He called me. I wasn't advertising for new hires at this time. Called me. I answered thinking it was this is Austin.
Yeah.
And he says, I'm looking to get my foot in the door to get an interview. And I was like, I was like, all right, give me the rundown. I'm driving.
Yep.
What do you do? Who are you? Like, give me the stuff. And he's working for this other company that they landscape delivery.
Hardscape kind of do.
Well, they just deliver material.
Okay.
Driving a dump truck.
Yep.
And they just abuse the crap out of him.
Of course they did.
Mentally.
Yep.
Or asking him to do like, it's one thing when I run the dump truck way overloaded.
Yep.
But I'm not going to ask you to do it, because, like when there's sketchy stuff to do, that's my job. You have a kid. It's not your job to do. Like, I'm not asking you to put your.
I've been there. What he's saying is like, I've got a lowboy driver who can move most equipment, but it's time to go move the 360 and we're 131,000 pounds on the road. It's probably not something he feels super comfortable with. Although we're legal, if it's just a little sketchy, you want to put yourself as the owner in that space and not.
Even getting started though, there was things that you're doing the job right. Just how you're getting there is a
well, you don't have
you're
capital.
stretching it. You're stretching it. Well, okay.
You don't have the money.
If I could do 10 trips versus 15 trips, 10 trips
every time
that truck's feeling it. Like you're not abused. The truck handles it well.
Yeah.
Well.
But is it legal?
Oh, no.
Exactly.
No.
But that's what I'm talking about. The system makes it so hard on us. But at the same time...
Other people are doing it.
Exactly. But does that make it right?
No. I'm saying other people are somehow doing it right.
Yes. After they've had 60, 80 years of practice, my guy, they're usually handed down in generations. We are grassroots. You don't find many guys like us that picked excavation and was like, let's go do this thing.
Well, your start's kind of similar to like you just did some stuff and it just kind of almost led you there.
This is how I ended up there. Basically, 18 to 19, I jumped around to a few industries, and that's what I suggest every 18, 19-year-old kid do. Don't stay anywhere super long unless you love it. It may end up being your career, but man, jump around. Try HVAC, try plumbing, try electrical, try pipeline. So I ended up at the city on the municipality side of things. I got a license in it, and it just kind of picked me from there. And then I found out I could pick Copenhagen out of your teeth with an excavator after a couple of years of practice. And then, like I told you yesterday, we were on the D6N. I had never ran a dozer until on in this company for 2 years, but I'm a pretty good little finish hand now, because I've spent amount of hours. Education is expensive, but experience is freaking priceless.
It's expensive for you.
Yeah.
To the guys that are coming.
You're paying for their education, man.
We worked for the guy that I said I didn't capitalize on. We worked for a month for free.
Yep.
Fixing, I call it getting through the BS stage with that new hand that, it's expensive if they're not staying.
It's an investment,
if you're
bro.
keeping him, it's like, okay, we got through this month and now we're jamming.
Yeah.
So to me, that was worth it.
I'll speak on a guy that I have right now, and then we're going to move into some crazy funny things. But I have a guy right now that I thought I was going to fire twice. Literally cost us a chunk of money, cost us...
critical chunks of money, not just...
Still recovering from them in the compounded measures that were in parameters we're having to deal with. Like, it was last year. And just doing ignorant stuff, just not really getting it together. And I knew I'll never get mad at anybody in my company.
You ever ask why that's happening?
Oh, yeah, 100%. And I'll never get mad at somebody in my company unless they know. If you don't know, it's my job. If I walk up and you just don't know, I don't care what the situation is, whether you're a dump truck, lowboy, you're in the ditch, laying pipes, sewer, pushing dirt, whatever. If you didn't know, I failed you. That's my job.
That's what I say. If it's a screw up, that's different. But if you're being an a-hole,
but if you do know, you do know the difference. And I have sat there and ran water or sewer with you during a different job, and here we are doing it completely ass backwards.
You know they know better.
Oh, buddy, I'm the first one to go, hey, man, what are we doing? Explain to me what is happening right now, because I know you know better. Well, the investment, and that's what you're speaking of. Do what?
Is it always that calm?
No.
Yes.
No, it's not always that calm. A lot of time is, what in the hell are you doing, man? Like, why is the trench box 80 feet from where the traco is? Now you can't reach it. Why is this exposed ditch? What? How are we going to backfill this, etc.? And it's walking up into those situations. No, it's not always calm, and it's 108 degrees out. I know I don't want to yell at them either, but if those guys in the ditch, lives are getting put in jeopardy because of somebody I have in leadership over them, I got to do something right then and there. So that specific guy is now...
And then knowing how to do that without like scaring them off or now they kind of...
It's not about what you say. It's not about what you do. It's how you make people feel. That's how I retain employees, 100%. And hey, I've had employees say, I'm the biggest pile of crap they've ever met. I've had all this, but my project manager's been with me 5 years. I've retained my first ever employee. Like, you've met all my team. I have an incredible team that's been here 3-4 years out of the 9 we've been in business. So I've got to be doing something right. Am I doing it right for everyone? No, I'm not. But the ones that'll come up to me and go, hey, Cy, this hurt my feelings, and I'd like to, it's a big enough deal that I would like to talk about it. Okay. Yep. Let's talk about it. How did we get here? Why did they happen? Because they're not ever looking from our view, bro. They're never looking from our view. You're so frustrated sitting there going, how can you not see this from my side? But how can you not see it from their side? So
they've never been in your side.
Exactly.
When you've been in both.
Exactly. So you have to be the more mature leader walking into that situation, knowing how they already feel. It's 2:00. They're ready to go home. And
1 o'clock out of 5.
You bet they do. And so do you. But you want to make money while you get there, not pay these guys for the next 3 hours to redo the crap they just did.
Crib, you have all this equipment.
Exactly.
And you're coming in late to work.
I don't come in late to work, ever.
They see you rolling at 9 or something. They're like, this
guy's
been sleeping in.
Oh, yeah. They just think
you're working my ass.
You've been on your home computer since 5:30, sending emails and crap externally. Then turn around, you've answered 3 phone calls, 100%, because you could, and then you got in bed and you sat there and watched YouTube and TikTok on these inspirational videos, just enough to give you enough motivation to get up the next day to go at it again and get your dick kicked in all freaking day long and hear how big of a pile of crap you are.
Like what you said at breakfast. You said it's hard to see like the light at the end of the tunnel when you're in the crap so much, but really, you don't, I mean, you're laying next to your
the rock, man.
Your motor, you don't need, I mean, and you're home with it.
Yep.
That's
you got to see a little inner piece of why I do what I do, and it's those babies. And Sarah, talking on Sarah, I'm like, we've spoke highly on her. I mean, I wouldn't be here without her. There's no way I could. I don't know how guys, I've said this on this podcast many times, I do not know how people get to this level by themselves, because it's lonely up here already to begin with. We just talked about how nobody even gets what the hell we're doing up here. Nobody knows how we feel, because it's a 98% of the population has no idea, nor will they ever want to figure out how we feel, deal with the stress or the pressure. So now you've got to go deal with a situation. It's crazy, bro. But Sarah is the ground. Sorry, not to get spun there, but Sarah grounds me when I get in those moments of, I got to go deal with this guy. This has been eating at me for weeks. And that one specific guy I was just mentioning, he's my anchor here right now, dude. That guy he's gone through all of that. I had to shuck out the dollars to invest in this guy, but this guy came out of a quarry in Missouri as a loader man.
He picked me up from the airport when I bought the dump truck.
Maybe. I don't know.
Blondish.
Yeah.
Surfer from here.
Yeah.
Skinny. Taller.
Yep.
Yep. Twang to his.
He's got that Southwestern Missouri twang for sure. But man, what an incredible human. And he never gave up on me, and I never gave up on him.
Dude, that's a big deal.
But there was times I should have.
And there's them not giving up on you, because they can go. You know, everybody's hiring.
Oh yeah. Well, not as this market There's some hiring going on.
Either for $1 an hour more. I'm like, did you do the math? Did you do the math on that $1 an hour more?
Well, the drive's only 25 minutes more.
But they're telling me I'll get a company truck in 2 years.
So
I'm like,
yeah. In the first 3-4 years of business, let me hear some crazy stories. I want to hear, what's the craziest thing that's happened to you in business?
Just now you got me on the block here. I don't know. I mean, my biggest, like, oh no kind of thing.
Okay.
Which, in the timing of it, like, I owned a skid steer and a dump trailer at the time. So I didn't even have the wherewithal of, like, I was weighing over my head anyways. I started working.
We still are, baby?
No. This is, like how much work I had done.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, get to it. So I owned a skid steer. This is like me getting into excavating, right? Like I'm
faking it till you make it, baby.
Well, I'm not doing anything. Like I thought, I did the little tricks, like, oh, we will get there, like when it's just me, like, yep. or like, making this company sound a little bit bigger, just on those little words.
You have to.
Like, no, I think I was always pretty upfront with, like, I'm young, and like, I know what I'm doing here, but like, I know how to dig this basement, dude. I know how to do the septic system. I just don't have all the crap, kind of thing. And I always tried to stay, you don't get the job if you're 10 grand more, So I mean, and it's really hard when you don't own all that crap sometimes. Like, so you could do a whole.
And every profit you get, you're just reinvesting.
Or that rental payment on that is kind of super expensive, and you didn't budget for that $1,000 to get that machine there from the big rental house. And then that trucking company you were going to use, you didn't line them up fast enough, so you got to use this other guy. They're $2 more a ton that day. And so
you're just getting into business. You just got the skid steer.
Yep. So I did this Facebook hustle. It was a new construction home, and this was like right on one of the main roads in a town, and it was a pretty kind of a pimp house, like up on a hill, kind of like S driveway going right up.
Beautiful.
In the middle of these trees. And new construction, so no yard, no nothing. And they put on there, like, we're looking to get, somebody to get our grass established, so, like, topsoil, all that crap. And the yard was about 30,000 square feet. So I ended up I talked them into this all underground drainage system, going into easy flow, because it was 10 foot of all sand. So I was like, it's going to leach out.
No, wow.
Pimped out.
Good for you, being professional, suggesting a solution that's nice.
They were looking for like a $5,000 fix. I talked over 20.
And boy,
so
you sold over 20.
Yeah,
you didn't talk them into nothing. Well, you sold, baby. Right.
No, yeah, of course.
By God,
yes. And dude, a lot of my bids, sometimes I am more expensive, but like, how many fittings you're getting, how many feet of pipe, what kind of pipe, how much stone yards to ton conversion. What is this material used for? It's not just like, you're getting this stone, you're getting this pipe, you're getting this. This is what the hell you're getting.
Yep.
And then me running this machine.
We don't have a product that we're selling. We're selling this service, and it's very hard.
Yeah. But painting a picture on dirt, pipe, and all that stuff on paper, it's kind of, sometimes I'm sitting there staring, I'm like, how the hell do I describe this?
It's so hard.
You have to, though. You
do?
Yeah, you have to. I mean, maybe not so much on your bigger jobs, like laying all the water main and stuff, because they've done it so many times.
Yep.
They know what they're
expecting.
Yeah, and there's contracts that tell you, like, this is your job, you sign here. That's it. So
the new construction house.
Yeah, I noticed there was a lot of, like, they put in boulders in the backfill and like bricks and chunks of concrete. And I just, these people are super cool. They were like, inviting us in for lunch and stuff. So, and I was like, who's the builder here? They're like, oh, his name's this, and he's kind of new to this county. He's from this area. And they said he was a really good guy, but it just kind of seemed like he was struggling to get some contractors from around here. I was like, give me his number. So I called him, the guy, young and naive. Yeah.
Squirrel.
Yeah. And I called him, and he said, oh, thank God you called me. I got all this work.
And I bet he did.
Yeah. And, I'm like, perfect. I can be there tomorrow. And so I did about $70,000 worth of work for him in a month and a half. And yeah, dude, I was tearing a house down, and then
do we get that in writing, filler?
Actually, at first, yeah, I did.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd send them like actual quotes. It wasn't just me like standing in the driveway with hands. I had like fire.
Yeah.
So
they call it, my guys call it when I go out quick drawing, just pow. Yeah, we'll do that for 15, 20, 25, 25, 25 to 30, 30.
That's who I compete with.
Yeah.
My competition.
Sorry, Bob.
They roll. It's not like I'm not making fun of anybody, but you know, it looks a little different when I'm in a company shirt, trucks clean, and I send you a formal quote.
It's huge, bro.
Instead of rolling in this 30-year-old truck, scratching my head like, you might be looking at 15. I don't know. And dude, it's crazy. I mean,
does homie pay you for the 70 grand?
So
is that where this story's going?
Okay, I had to. It's crazy getting there, but yeah. So I tore the first thing I did was I tore a house down, and then he accepted the quote, and then like I'm like halfway through this house, and he's like, "Hey, could you actually do it for this?" And I was like, "No," no. And then the dumpsters were taking forever, so I had everything crunched up in the basement, and like the site was clean. Then he said, "I got this other house we got to get done like in a couple days," and I was like, "Okay." So I paid to move the machine over there, get this house torn down, a lake lot. I didn't account for the water table. And so I had the house basically all torn down. I'm ripping footings out, and I'm on top of grade. And then, I spin the machine around. I'm like, what the hell? Like, I'm like 4 feet into the dirt, or like into the sand right now. And so the tracks were completely buried within probably 30 seconds. Like, there was no like surface water or nothing. Like, so it wasn't like I was.
So it's just a bubble of water underneath and sand on top.
Yeah. Yeah, and like I said, I mean, there was no, like, you kind of expect there was a, water table or something on a lake lot, but, dude, I dug this stump out that was probably, 6 foot, and nothing happened then. Like, I'm going to rip the whole house down. and then, I'm almost done. Like, none of the dumpsters sunk, nothing. And, so that was, and then so I got that one taken care of, and he said, well, let's go get back that other one. So that, like, in 2 weeks, that alone was, like, almost 40, two big houses. They're bigger houses. And so, my money person was like, hey, we kind of need to get paid on some of this crap. Like, you are way over and over your head right now. Like, $8,000 in dumpsters, 25 or $3,000 in machine right now for the sites I was at. That was a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
Oh my goodness. And I was like, not being able to communicate because maybe you don't know some stuff. You're like, oh, fuck it. I got all this money. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, you thought so long.
It's coming. Don't worry
about
it. So I did, and then I was like, okay, I need to get some money out of you. Like, not quite.
No, I know what you mean.
But
doesn't work. You want paid.
He wrote me a check for like 15, and I was like, okay, this is fine for now. And then, another couple of days, I did some more work. Like, I did some driveways. Like, he's like, I need to get this job finished up so I can get paid on it. So I did some driveways, and I was all right. I need another chunk, buddy. And he gave me another one, and then the day after I put that one in the bank, they're like, hey, this other one bounced. And I was like, phew, what is, like, tell me exactly what that means. And they're like, funds are not there, or, like something's, but you don't have the money.
At the same time, I've got to say, before you continue on, that's happened to me. Now, in the beginning, it happened to me on a couple of them, and I freaked out.
Well, I didn't freak, and I was like, good, dude's been cool. Like, he's...
Yeah, and he's business. He probably didn't move some money, whatever.
With that. So I was like,
I know what you mean.
But then, so I was like, I need to get another chunk. So I got the second one went in. Like, it was a smaller amount, like, say $5,000. That one went through, though. And then I was like, hey, dude, this first one bounced. He's like, oh man, that's weird. Like, there's plenty of money in the account. Like, so I'm like, yeah, he's telling the truth, And
trust but verify, my friend.
So he's like, okay, I'll meet you on a Thursday or something. Thursday comes around, I'm like, hey, dude,
where you at?
Yeah, and he's like, oh, dude, I ran out of checks today. I wrote my last one. It's gonna be like another week. So I was like, I let him get away with it.
Okay,
because I wasn't
being nice.
I wasn't that stressed out at the time.
You bet.
I'm busy working, thinking I'm getting paid. Just naive stuff, you know. So then this week goes by. He says, yep, checks are in, buddy. And then he's like, surprise visit from my daughter. She's coming in from town, or like from college. And so, like I can hear you on the phone drinking and partying, dude. Like, you better give me some money.
Oh
like,
my God.
I'm sitting here, but I don't dare tell them.
No,
you're. I mean, sometimes you're upfront about it, but me, I'm like, it's kind of nerve wracking to tell somebody how bad you need that. I don't know, it shouldn't be, but you don't want to tell them.
Let me help you and every single other contractor that's sitting in year 2, 3, or the first year. It is not taboo to talk about money. It is not taboo to talk about your money.
No.
I know what you mean, though, because in the first 3 years, it's just like you, bro. I was like, man, this guy's going to be giving me some work. Take it easy on him. Hey, he's going to give me that money and give him, I was there too, bro.
This is how I get in my platinum, baby.
You bet.
Yeah,
and Sarah's like,
shit.
Go get the money right now. I'm like, easy, babe. Everything's going to be okay. You said another week. We'll be all right. Well, I can't make it another week. You're going to want pipe, and you're going to want gravel, and you're going to want this. I need it now. And so,
hold on, the dump truck needs oil change. That's
yeah, and then I had to get the low boy out of the Peterbilt. There's $10K.
But then payroll's coming up.
Yeah,
I forgot about
there's
that.
Another $15, $20K on Friday.
Quarterly insurance.
Yeah. That's $24,000 every quarter.
Okay, your AC is taking a crap on your 20.
Every truck I got's broke. You've seen them. And
you're helping in storm cleanup, but you just have a $5,000 bill to clean up.
That one kind of still is.
But
a zinger.
It's there. I feel like excavation, a lot of blue collar, but like with machinery and stuff like that, there's a lot of. It's not that you just got to have somebody in the office really knowing like every intricate detail.
Meaning estimation and project management.
I'm talking about money in, money out.
Accounting is number one, bro. 100%. You have to know, and that's what I've been. During this,
that's probably the second best or the second most important is estimating.
I agree with you. You got inside, and this was not. I have to make this clear with you guys. I have been preaching this to Austin because I have figured out how to not do it, and I'm in the middle of it. So hey, do these couple of things, and number one is inside accounting of your business. It is everything. It is. I wish somebody sat me down.
Tracking is important.
You have to
then estimate properly for the next one.
That's where I'm going. Is you got your inside accounting, you've got your practices, your systems, and they don't have to be crazy, dude. They can be on the 22nd of the month. I sit down. I put all my expenses in. I invoice everybody on the 20th of the month. Everything incoming and outgoing goes through whatever source you use. Then you go to estimation.
Yeah.
And you start estimating. It doesn't matter what you're slinging out the door first. You've got to find out until it comes on the backside of production to find out if estimation's worth a crap or not.
Or if you were right.
Exactly. But how do you know?
Mm-hmm. Inside
accounting. And if inside accounting is not set up, because the last 8 months, my inside accounting has been completely revigorated. My estimation, my production, everything, how we track everything, how we track days, how we track equipment, how we track labor, how we track pipe, everything we've restructured because of these 3 items. There's only 2 things wrong with a business. It's either estimation or production.
Well, that helps you with learning where you have to invest.
Exactly. Where you put your money. Because now, what are you doing? Your inside accounting, a lot of guys don't want to put the time in because they really don't want to know.
Well, it's not. This is what I've been trying to get into.
Sorry.
For a minute. It's easy.
Sky, in here for a minute.
Yeah.
Come to my show in here for a minute.
Anyway, who you're trying to talk to right now is the people that are starting to get employees and have employees.
Yep.
And because when you're by yourself and you're doing all this, like there's a lot of. I mean, you make a lot of money doing that, but you can track your own spillage because it's you doing it. I mean, like there's a lot of different variables there.
Yeah.
That maybe you didn't leave out, but they're just not talked about. So that's why it's so important. I mean, if you clearing an acre of trees with the good old boy and an excavator, you can track in your head.
Yes, 100%. But it's so much easier to slap you in the face with a number on a piece of paper saying that you didn't do what you were supposed to do. Because let me see
more in depth, like what you're doing.
Let me tell you something. Let's talk about land clearing for just a second. If I take a mini X and skid steer. I cleared 7 acres.
That's a big job for that, though.
And a lot of that body damage that I turned in the lease on came from that specific job site. I was early on. I was nowhere near commercial. And I told him I would do it. It took me 3.5 weeks, but I got it done.
That's a long time.
And it was me and my first ever employee, Dylan, that you met yesterday. He was actually quitting that Friday, and he went to work for the city of Pea Ridge. He worked for the Pea Ridge in the water department for the benefits. He was having a little health issues. It was super cool how he did it, but I was losing him as well, so it was all me, bro. And
those are long nights, not just because you're working long.
Bro.
Your thoughts get in. When you're in a machine by yourself for like, oh, bad.
But what I'm getting at is I had, okay, it's going to take me a week and a half. $5,000 for my skid steer, $5,000 for my Mini X. Okay? Whatever. Just throwing out basic numbers here. Something easy to track. I've got me, a week of payroll, $1,000. Another week of payroll, $1,000. Like if you're paying yourself, if a normal guy was out going and doing this himself. Okay? So basically we got $10,000 we stand to make revenue-wise. We know $2,000 is going to get ate up in labor for those 2 weeks we are estimating it for, okay? And then we've got basically $8,000 left for our equipment, chainsaw, whatever that it's going to take. Well, then it turned around. It was 3.5 weeks, okay? So I ate $1,000 right off the bat. So now we're down to 7. Oh, and also I broke my Mini X thumb. I tore the door off. I...
a lot more fuel.
Busted teeth, a lot more fuel, about 13 more loads of haul off extra. I lost my butt, dude.
Ooh, dude, yeah.
I lost my butt like that. But if that crap right there isn't on paper, I'm going to think, man, I made money on that link there. Oh, how? It's because I got that. This is early on, dude. First year and a half. I got $10,000. This dude paid in 2 days. I was done. He paid me. Let's go.
Yeah.
But if I didn't have the Mini X door, $786, mechanic to fix door, $300, and that $1,000 associated to that job, well, if I see 4 or 5 damages to my equipment on that one specific job, what is that? Oh, that is sewer services, or that is land clearing for this analogy. Well, that's going to tell me I don't even do that crap because that's hard on my equipment. And if that's on my, that's on paper,
we're talking about having the right equipment for that, because like that's not a Mini X job.
But at the same time, to what I was saying earlier, man, if you go, the rental houses are stacked full. You don't even need equipment right now to do what you're doing. You could go out, bid with rental rates in the job, bid a ton of them, and when you do get them,
other contractors are doing that.
Absolutely, I'm doing it right now myself. I want to shed all my little gear. I want to keep my big gear that I've got equity in through this election year and this crap that we're living through right now. Why should I keep a Mini X and skid steer payment?
Is that different for you?
What do you mean?
You've been through one other election year?
Yes.
That's a different election.
It was I'll never forget it. Sitting there watching that happen, and we all thinking that Trump was going to get in, everything was great, and everything was going to keep rocking and rolling. And Biden comes in, and literally everything I learned about IRS, CP, county, everything changed in 4 years. Boom. Right then, he signed 23 executive orders day one in office. So, and people don't even pay attention to that crap. That affects
That's what, like, people keep asking me about. I was like, dude, I've never run a business through an election year. I don't know. Like, I'm just holding on.
Well, and Dalton will be on probably the next episode, but I sat there and on our 2023, oh my God, man. Well, there's one episode with him already, but 2023 Christmas party last year, sitting there with all my employees, and I said, hey guys, look, 23 is not about making money. I know that sounds weird coming out of my mouth. 23 is about surviving. I knew how bad this year was going to be, just with the already political crap that was going on, not to go off into that, but the worldly stuff that's going on, that affects me and you. Mm-hmm. Whether it's fuel prices, whether it's equipment material, prices, whether it's resin in the plastic of the pipe that we put in.
Yeah, poly went up.
Like everything, not just COVID, made it through COVID in the last 4 years during that election time. highest cost in American history in the last 4 years. Taxation, highest taxation we've ever dealt with in the last 4 years. That changed within, anyways, we're not going to go too far off into that. But I knew this year was going to be pretty pivotal in American history, let alone what it's going to do for us in business. I knew this year interest is already sky high heading into, and Dalton can back exactly what I'm up. 18 months ago, I said, hey, private work's drying up. Interest rates is sky high. They don't want to go spend 40, 50, $80 million on a project at 10% either. No. Do you want to go do that on $80K? Heck no, you don't want to go spend 10% on that truck unless you absolutely what? Need it. So unless they absolutely need that project, well, they don't need these multifamilies because they already have...
housing market's bad, yeah.
Exactly. No, I'm talking about the private world in general, dude. Anything that is privately funded by investors or anything outside of government-funded public work, it's trash. We found that out last year, so we moved over hardcore into the public space. But like I've been talking to you, you move into that public government funded, what do you need? You need bonding capacity, which takes assets, which takes cash or debt. And if you have too much debt, then you don't show equity and then you can't bond. So it's this vicious freaking cycle. You see this coming, but being a younger excavation contractor and how the game has been laid out for us and how the system we have, the way we procure and contract work, there's so many parameters laid out in front of us for even us to get the contract on the public side. So you're kind of forced into this private game. So you want to try and mix those two up. But what I'm getting at, over the last 18 months, we've really made that transition. Well, we have still got some public work lying out there. It really ate up our bonding capacity. So we've been trying to find a little bit of private resi work. Well, we found a couple of those. We're trying to find, and we found some good ones. But how did I do that?
Connection.
Sales and marketing, man. Sales and marketing, 100%. I've got an estimator you met and a salesman. That's all they do, 2.5 to 3.5 out of that office a week. That's insanity. Are we trying to capture all of that? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But I'm bidding so much more work. You bet your bottom dollar, dude. And then what does that give me? It gives me, so I only want this amount of work that we bid. But guess what? I'm already starting with 25 or 30% margin. And now if we've got to redact and work our way in.
Yeah, I talked to him a little bit about that yesterday.
And not only that, dude, just from the couple of podcasts that I'm doing, I've had complete backflow as a guy called me from Jonesboro, bidding on a project here in town, here in Rogers, against another GC that's pretty predominant here in town. Well, that GC that's predominant in town went over to Northeast Arkansas and kicked them in the tail. Well, by doing this podcast, check this out. We were just talking about taboo about money. It's not taboo about money. You got to be talking to the right people. And it takes time and experience to figure that out, my dude.
Oh, yeah. Like now, like what I was saying, like how money 3 years ago versus money now, it's completely different.
Exactly. Exactly.
Now it's like, okay, hey, you're late, bro. Like, I did the work on time.
Don't even get me started on payment terms. All right. Well, I know I was probably just in the middle of something, but I completely blanked. But let's...
general contractor coming over here.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, let me finish that up real quick. You kind of threw me for a loop there. But basically, from this podcast, he reached out to me, and within 5 minutes of the conversation, it had nothing to do with work. It had nothing to do with what type of job it was. I didn't even have a set of plans. I didn't have nothing. He said, hey, here's the deal. I'm looking at a total project in your area. I'm going up against these guys. I need your help. You're my guy. And I said, are you going to price shop me to 5 or 6 other guys around town? He said, nope. I want you to give me your best pricing, and I'm going to go with you forward because you're my guy. I pay with him 15 to 30 days.
That's nice.
He sat there and told me that within 5 minutes of me picking up the phone with this guy. He's a $150 million contractor annually, bro.
Just want to make sure that's true, though.
100%. And of course, what did I tell you? But what did I tell you earlier? Trust but verify. Trust what they're saying is correct, man. Never call anybody a liar in this game because that don't get you nowhere. But you dang sure call around and verify what the guy's telling is the actual accurate information. Never trust anybody. Nobody. Trust, but verify.
Who was before you?
What do you mean?
Who was the contractor you were using before you?
In which situation?
Excavating utilities.
Oh, over there? The Jonesboro guy?
Is it that far away that they wouldn't come here?
Yes, they're a GC, so they have nothing.
No, the other like who they've done jobs where they've needed another SciCon.
Yes, they're 5 hours away.
Okay,
they've got their. It's definitely totally two different markets. Okay. Northwest Arkansas is Benton, Washington County. They're way over there on the other side of it. It's totally. That would be like UP work to where you're at.
Yeah, like we're doing some work for a general contractor, and they're like, this other contractor's being a dickhead.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, is he?
That's the questions you need to start asking.
To make sure, because this guy was doing, like...
Just remember that, dude.
$1 million a year for these people.
Yeah.
If you're smart, you don't turn that down. What's going on?
As you know, bro, we get lied to every day by so many different people. And if you do want to put your faith in somebody and you do want to open that...
A good word right there.
I mean, if you want to put your faith, that's what we're doing, is we're putting faith in people. I mean, yes, we've had our faith-based conversations and we put our faith in Jesus, but at the same time, within business and working in our parameters, we've got to have faith in people. We've got to trust people, but you got to verify what they're telling you is truthful.
Mm-hmm. Learning how to listen.
Crucial, bro. Crucial. Okay, let's just talk about the employees like we did earlier. If you can't listen to what they're telling you and you only hear the negative that's coming out of their mouth, because a lot of times when they're coming at you, they're telling you how you have failed them. And it's hard to listen to. And it's hard to...
It's every relationship, though.
It is. And when you're in this business, and not just excavating, this blue collar across the board, you're failing everybody. From the time you wake up to the time you go to sleep. Till you sell your business, or you make it on the other side, or you're not in the middle of it anymore, you're failing somebody because you're the ultimate problem solver. So they're always coming to you with the top diddly problems that nobody else can figure out, and it's up to you to build that team so those questions get answered before they get to you. It's up to you to stop answering the freaking phone, Cy Kirby, and telling them exactly what they want to hear when I've got a project manager who's doing a great job but didn't give them the answer they wanted. So in your position, building a team and employees, listening and learning to listen to them is tough because it's just, hey, man, this didn't work on this excavator, and they just... It's not about what you say or what you do, is how you make people feel. But in that point, it's making you feel like...
smile a lot when you're not feeling.
You have to, bro. Smile. You may be absolutely crushed.
You just got the phone call this morning. Suddenly you get ahead to $70,000 for the credit card payment, and then that dump truck you were looking to get out of the shop so you could work for tomorrow. They need another week and a half. But then you just got to figure out how to smile.
You do.
You can't let everybody know about all the problems.
Hey, you've got, another IRS letter came in. Hey, you've got pipe bill needs paid. Hey, the gravel bill needs paid. Hey, the dump truck's broke. Hey, the driver's standing here at $23 an hour. He's pissed because he doesn't want to go home.
Because he has problems too.
You bet your bottom. Yeah,
dude, he's got a house payment and this badass truck sitting down.
And then you're failing him,
Or he's got a new baby.
With, running younger companies, man. We have me and you, okay, being the younger generation. I sat on that News Nation live interview. And she was asking about the trainability of our generation and how it's terrible. It is. But it's up to me and you as leaders is to figure out and adapt and retain those people.
You have, you're 6 years older than me?
Yeah, what's that?
So you have 6 more years of age gap for hiring. I've hired some guys that are older than me that do not like that.
I know. I was 23 when I started. Yeah. It was terrible when I was in my 20s.
But then I have people younger than me that somehow know more than me Which
Isn't that funny?
Well, I mean, that's always my motto. I was like, if you have a better idea, tell me. Let's talk about it.
Yeah,
entertain
that man.
Yeah, dude. I'm like, talk to me about it. Don't assume that I'm stupid though, dude. Because like, chances are I've probably done it. Chances. Maybe that I've done it a few more times than you, and maybe my way is not 100% right. But what I've been doing has been working. So if maybe you have some ideas that can help with that, let's talk about it. I'm just saying chances. Like if you told me how to dig this the septic system faster, like I want to hear about it, but if I've already tried it, yeah.
Yeah, it's my equipment, it's my payment, it's my time, it's my labor.
I don't even really have to hammer that to people. People have
the line of respect, 100%, because they see a young man.
I grew up with that though, this is mine, this is how it's done. You do what I say.
You can't be like that. And I know, trust me. And that's one of the reasons I asked you why blue collar. That's one of my main precursors as to why I jumped into this, because I loved what I did. I was good at what I did. But nobody treated me right. And I knew I could treat people better. But guess what? It's costed me hundreds and hundreds of thousands.
We didn't finish on that. Why did we get into it? Okay.
Yeah. Okay, why did you? Now that we've got an hour to talk.
Like you talked about when you were 20, you were my age, you were obsessed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, obsessed about something you hate.
You cannot.
And that's the biggest preach thing, is you just got to love what you do, which is 100%. I mean, somebody like I made the joke, like I might just sell all this shit and go get a job. But then I not even 10 seconds of thinking of what that looked like, I was like, I'd be finding an overpass.
Yep.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah, and it's not so
because once you've been on the other side, it's so hard to go back. But at the same time, if you've had, let me tell you something, 9 years, 10 years in, somebody wanted to come along and I work for them. At this point, I'm tired, man. I mean, every single day that you're waking up fighting, it's not going to stop. And that's what I think a lot of people think. It's, there's going to be, and I did. I thought I was going to get, year 7, I'm really going to start breathing, And now it's problems that I never even thought about, So.
Well, that's remember what I said? I think the importance of having that, like the goal, not just a never ending thing. Okay, because there's always that next thing that you could be doing, or that next bigger.
Kicking that can down the road, dude.
Yeah, you just, that's
not everybody, Eric Howerton, says this. Entrepreneurs, man, true entrepreneurs are very, very, very rare breed. Why do you think there's so many coaching programs? Why do you think there's so many things out there for to help these entrepreneurs make it? Well, because they're not supposed to be entrepreneurs. And let me tell you something. I didn't know if I was supposed to be an entrepreneur or not.
What made you? What was that thing that turned you and you said, "Okay, I'm supposed to be"?
I saw the system wasn't going to get any better, and I wasn't going to go to work for somebody for 20 years and waste my life. And I knew I could give people something better. That was my drive. Hey, come do this with me. I think I can do it better than all of them. I mean, obviously, from a relationship to relationship standpoint. And it sucks. I can sit here and tell you, man, I've changed a lot. I haven't changed the same human person I am, bro. But with the pressure and the stress and the anxieties. And we were sitting there at breakfast talking about all this crap and all these hurdles I'm dealing with. Nothing to do with Cy Kirby. It's all about the people that I've taken care of over the last 9 years to put me in a situation, whether good, bad, or indifferent, providing, man, 100%. And it's hard to sit there and look at it like that. But at the same time, I've almost done $20 million in sales in that time. That's insane. I could have never done that by myself. So there's this fine line of you have to have them, right? But you don't have to put up with how they treat you. The disrespect is number one for me. Don't disrespect me. I tell everybody I hired, don't steal, don't lie, and don't take advantage of me.
Say that stuff.
It is, but those 3 things right there. Just don't do those 3 things, and I promise you we can work back. Roll a dump truck, flip an excavator. I don't care. As long as you're a good human and you care, I can't pay you to care, bro. I can pay you to do a lot of things, but care is a totally different thing. And when 95% of our crap gets buried, how the hell are they supposed to have any care or pride in it? when you're trying to dig.
Well, then you have to trust them that they're doing that right.
Oh, we're back to that trust word.
It's not like you're installing some lawn and it's right there.
This is, I mean, in your case, this is people's homes for the rest of their lives.
That's something I had to really explain to people, because it's like, like we can get caught up in that hurry up and get this done.
Yep.
But then I'm like, dude, like, you know how hard it is for somebody to, like, and I've had people cry in front of me, like customers, when I give them that bill.
Yeah.
Or that, well, not a bill, but an estimate.
Invoice, yeah.
Yeah, and like just 3 weeks ago, the lady says, like, can you give me a ballpark? And I was like, honestly, I really can't, because we haven't done a perk test, and I don't know where the sand's at.
They always
And
want to know price, don't they?
I did one a mile down the road, similar size, but I think it was a little bit deeper, because I know the sand's a little bit better up on this side of the road.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, you're looking at, it could be. I said, please do not, like, and I really emphasize on that, because that bit me in the ass one time.
I do it a lot.
Yeah, I was like, you're probably looking around 20 to 30, like 20, 25-ish, and she started crying. And I was like, what if I do,
Yeah.
And I'm like, I can't do it any cheaper.
No.
To help her, I'm not going to go hug this random lady and, talk
It's so hard, dude, bro.
But that's what I say is I was like, dude, like,
these
are people, like, and I mean, it's different on new construction because you're making a payment on it. But when it's a residential replacement and these people somehow had to come out, dude, some of them are 40.
Yep.
A car.
Worked their whole life.
Yeah, and they're like, oh, God, just so you can flush your toilet.
Yep. What's 3 things? Give me one thing you wish you knew before you started.
And it's going to take a lot longer than you thought.
Okay.
You said 3?
Yeah, give me something else. It's going to take a lot longer than you think. I'm 9 years in, guys, and I am, don't get me wrong, I may look like I'm
I think it's
close,
more important to, at least for me, it's everything is important, but working on you is probably the most important thing.
Proud of you, bro. 100%.
Yeah, because, if more than one person thinks you're being a dick,
Probably being a dick.
Yep. If more than one person says you're not doing your job, you might not be doing your job.
Dude.
Yeah.
To just preface on that, we just spoke for the last hour about how we need to be this and we need to be that and we need to be this and we need to handle that. It's a lot. It's a lot of pressure. It's a lot on our mental fortitude just to get to where we are in business. And people want to look at us and they want to have their own personification about where we are. And, oh, he blacked out another skid steer. He blacked out. Well, heck yeah, I did. And that's not for them. That's for you. That's for your heart.
Yeah, but it's important on not having tunnel vision is what I'm saying.
Yes, agreed.
Like you have to, every day you should be learning about the business, but as like your personal development. Because you and I have been talking for months
hardcore
about how I've been kind of screwing up with my personal relationships. Because this is so important to me. And like the whole point was like, this is, yes, it's for me. But I changed my business name to my last name because it's more than just my initials. It's my, of course I want to have the kids, that, it'd be cool to have a CPA in the family and they want to do this or like, project manager, kind of like we were talking about with your son and daughter, if God willing, that's how it's supposed to go.
Right.
That's the goal. But, like I said, the personal development on making sure that you are
ready.
Yeah, dude, because it's a lot more than you really think. I mean, if you're growing,
well, if you're not growing, you're dying.
Well, yeah, but dude, there's a guy out by me that he's been doing septic systems by himself. He only does the ones he can do by himself for 15 years,
and he probably bids a whole bunch of them and only does ones with profit margin in them.
Mm-hmm.
And makes
That's
enough
simple.
money.
That is simple. His dump truck's paid off. His tax paid off. He's got a mini excavator, an older, 315.
My best buddy had a great big electrical company and great big solar company, and now it's just him and his best bud master electrician, and they're making more money than they ever have just going in and doing service calls because he goes, hey, me and this guy, 3 days, and they'll go in 6 hours. They've been working together for freaking 8 years. They go in there and knock it out in 6 hours and roll out of there making 2 days worth. I mean, just. And in this area, it's very high service call. You've got new installs. We have new installs, subdivisions and crap going everywhere. Now we've got apartment complexes popping up out of nowhere. There's a bunch of property maintenance and bunch of service calls. Man, it's over glam. It's so over glorified and glamified. It's so bad.
I want to work for you, and and I always ask, what is your long term goal?
Me and you both.
And they're like,
personal, business, all of it.
I'd say 80% of the people that call for a job, they want to start a business at some point. And I'm like, it's really hard, Some days I'm like, yeah, dude, come on. Like, I dare you, not like being an ass, but like, I dare you to embark on that, but sure, come work for me because I need the guys.
Yep.
But then the other days are like, oh, God, I don't want to spend all this money teaching.
You can't invest in them.
Yeah.
You can't invest in those, man.
It's hard. That's hard, dude. There's things like that, dealing with employee relationships or, relationships with contractors or material suppliers, like stuff like that. Like, you personally are probably dealing with 50 to 100 different personalities every day, 50 different relationships a day. So, like, that's why it's so important to
work on yourself every day.
Develop that.
Read,
and
man.
You don't make enough time for it either.
I don't. I can 100%, that about me. I got too many people relying on me. And then you put yourself aside, and then all of a sudden you explode. And I have my 30 minutes every morning with my one book before I get on my phone and everything else. And
is that true?
That is 100%.
You don't roll out of bed and get your phone right away?
I do not. Ask my wife. I've been really trying to, that's my one personal development thing. It's Do the New You by Stephen Furtick. I've told you about it. I'm not a very big reader, but I am finding, man, is it impactful for the situations that I am, not just the book, but just reading in general and conversations like this. Like, I'm just learning so much, how to do things, how to not do things, what I'm supposed to do as me, myself, and I as a leader. Craftsmanship, we got to be bad to the bone at our craft. We have to be good leaders. We have to be businessmen. Those are the 3 keys to success. And I'm really good at my craft, really good leader, but those 2 usually combine great, but a terrible businessman. Then you've got really good businessman, really good at his craft, but he can't retain anybody because he's a crappy leader because he's too critical of everybody. Those situations are, or you have terrible at their craft, great businessman, great leader, and got all these people ain't got no word. Like, those are the 3 not just those 3 situations, but it's all surrounded around those 3.
Your life, everybody's life has these 3 priorities. Like, there's a bunch of little tiny priorities. There's these 3 priorities. So when you push these 2, that one
always
one goes down. So maybe it's okay, family, but within that family priority is your wife, kids, and close family,
immediate,
like Dalton,
yep,
and Dylan, business, and then, maybe faith, family, business.
Yep, for me, yep.
Okay, you might be really hammering down on your faith, and with that,
one of them's gonna slide.
One of these,
yep,
comes with one, but then the other one comes down a little bit. That doesn't mean it's doing bad.
No.
It's just not getting as much.
Yeah, bad. It's not getting fed.
Yeah.
And just to if you're not growing, you're dying.
Me, at least, so my one book is now I've been past 2 months making it more of a priority to reading, my scripture in the morning.
Good.
And I feel that the more I'm in tune with that, everything else kind of goes along with it.
Not funny.
So when I was trying to read 48 Laws of Power or something like that, stuff like that, that wasn't feeding me.
Not for the season that you're in. Now in 2 or 3 years, that book will be super powerful for you.
Maybe
Art of War.
Because I mean, dude,
48 Laws of Power, I think, is what you're referencing. Is that right? Is it? I'm sorry. I was trying to remember the book title of myself. I don't know. Either way.
The Psychology of Money.
Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Anyways, so I'm in a Bible study. Every Man a Warrior. First, the 3rd book is money, sex, success, work. First one's marriage and kids. So it's the Bible isn't just like not about those things like
right.
that. It's like a handbook of how to do everything right.
Mm-hmm.
It involves your personal development.
Absolutely.
How to become a better leader, how to become a better father, husband,
everything. Nurture.
Right. And so that's what I'm saying. Maybe in 3 years, 48 laws of power is still not,
may not line up with you.
I've been, because I can find everything in this one book.
Yeah. The good book, baby.
The good book.
The good book.
Yeah.
That's what we call it around here.
Warrior of
Give me one last thing. Thank you for bringing that up, by the way. Give me one last thing you wish you knew before you started.
Okay, so I said it's going to take longer.
Take longer than you think.
What was the second one that I said?
Couldn't tell you.
It's going to piss a lot of people off.
There you go. Let's talk about the haters for a minute.
People closer. Not everybody that helps you is your friend. Not everybody that doesn't help you is your enemy.
Man, that's all good stuff right there.
Yeah, that's people that, to me, blood.
We've kind of talked about that.
Yeah.
Behind the scenes.
Yeah, both of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They ain't always there for your best interests. People are selfish. And people, I think, forget that a lot of times.
False prophets.
Uh-huh.
Wolf in sheep's clothing. You got to be real careful of that. This dude, right? Outside looking in, you're rolling in it.
Yeah.
You are rolling in it.
Yeah. Let me tell you about it.
I got brand new trucks and blacked out equipment.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm rich.
Yeah.
And everybody wants a piece of that, even though it's not theirs. Yeah, like, oh, you only gave $100 on my graduation party.
What the heck, man?
Yeah, that gets around you, and you're like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah, exactly.
You're 18, shut up.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah, no, not really, but everybody, dude, what's his name? He has the nose strip. Alex.
Hormozy.
Yeah. He says a lot of good stuff.
Oh, dude.
Like, everybody's rooting for you until you do it. Or even if it looks like you're doing it.
There's a whole lot of people sitting out there ready for you to fail, too. And nobody...
They kind of want it, dude.
They love it.
This 3 days before I came here. Family members saying stuff. And, I had to talk to 2 different people about it because I was set off.
You bet.
I'm going to go do this. I'm going to, and I've been dealing with turning that motivation around from like, I'm going to shit on these people. Hey, dude, we've talked about how you allowing God to lead your business.
Right.
Like,
have to.
I've been doing that more and it's getting easier, but, instantly back to it. I'm going to shit on right down their throat. And then I talked to another friend and he was like, dude, they wish you would do that. They want you to. They want you to react this way.
I think a lot of people also forget, and Cy Kirby included here, I think people forget that when you're going through the struggle and the valley, so is your competition.
But that's why social media is so hard to get past.
But that's the good thing about social media. Yeah. The man that sat in this chair during a podcast on Big Talk Small Business, I would definitely encourage you guys. I did an episode on Big Talk Small Business with Eric Howerton and Mark Zweig, and it was, Eric said, you don't have the money to do sales and marketing. You don't have the time to do sales and marketing. Why? Because you need sales and marketing.
Well, dude, I just told you how much my website cost.
Exactly. And
that's not just a one and done.
No.
There's maintenance. Then there's
new blogs, articles, projects.
You have the ship. Now you got to fuel it.
Yeah.
And fuel. You're burning fuel every day.
Every day, all day.
So it's not like you get to, boom, I can save up this chunk real quick. And
there is no saving in our world, bro. The money's already gone 6 months before you get it.
Marketing, though.
I agree.
It costs a lot to do it.
It does.
But you have to, dude, I've tried to sell it to people. Like,
you can't.
And they're like, oh, God, you got to spend that kind. I'm like, dude, I mean, look what's going on.
Yep.
You know, like,
And I'm just now.
word of mouth is dying, I think.
I couldn't even imagine if I had the sales and marketing mindset that I do now in year 9, what I have if I had it in year 3. What I could be in 3 times of what I put in at your point, bro. Because Eric makes such a good, I mean, of course he's a marketing guru, but why would you not? This is the time to get in front of people when nobody is spending money.
Yeah.
And
I've
got my work.
What really changed, like, my viewpoint on a lot of things was COVID. Like, I wasn't in business for long, but I just thought it was so strange because I've grown up. Everyone in my family owns a business. And I've grown up around dude, that's weird that the government can tell you can't work. And then I've noticed, you know, because my grandma and grandpa are 70s, like mid to late 70s. Like, everybody in my family's, you know, 50s now. That the next generation after that. And I've noticed, like, word of mouth is dying. So now how do I get in front of these customers? You know, word of mouth travels fast when you do bad work, but to get, you know, like, at least for what I'm doing, or even like what you're doing, I mean, you have contractors, but okay, so like a homeowner that I'm doing a septic system for, like, it's not very often you're talking about your septic system, you know, but if I did a bad job, everybody's going to know. But for that word of mouth, it's not very often that somebody's like, hey, who did your septic system?
Yeah.
So I really asked that question. I was like, how do I get in front of these people now? You know, it's not like the lawn mowing where it's happening every week. So, you know, or you know, the tree cutting.
Here's a guy in town that owns our septic market, and I know the marketing guy that helped him do it. He's got like 3,100 Google reviews.
Yes, that's important too. Holy cow.
Huge, bro. And especially if I would have every customer that you're doing residentially spent the time and had a D-scope after the job is done and go, hey guys, is there anything that...
Dude, I was at a customer's house at 10 o'clock at night.
You bet.
Talking. Not, no work's happening, no nothing. I don't even know if
But you got to start slipping that Google review in there. At the end, you know what I mean? Hey, is there anything that we, you know, could have done better, et cetera, et cetera? Would you mind placing a review on Google?
I talk about this with my marketing guy all the time because it's like, you know, it's kind of the same as like, I'll pray for you, but then you don't go do it.
Yep.
You forget, or you have so much going on, but like you told that person, same as the Google review.
Yeah.
You know, they're like, oh yeah, I'll do it. You did a fantastic job. They pull your ego up, and then 2 weeks goes by, and you're like, oh, still not there. Mm-hmm. And then you ask, hey, one more time. You know, I'm not gonna pest you for that Google review, but
how quick are people to jump on there about the negative?
Dude, one-star review is the equivalent of 5 stars. Mm-hmm. I noticed that, and well, the only one star. Well, I have one that I don't even know who the name is. I've never even.
You can report it and get them off of now.
Yeah, not highly, not really. It takes a lot more.
It's going off.
Did you?
Yes.
Did it take?
Like 3 weeks.
Oh yeah.
Sarah,
I got my guy dabbling, but the one. Now I'm doing a $40,000 drainage job for him. You know, and they're like, "Hey, we're gonna get that off for you right away as soon as you're done." You know, so. Yeah, and that was a really big deal. Like it was,
reviews are huge.
Time of sale thing. Like it was a big deal. Like that. I was a lot of what we talked about GCs. If it's a bad GC and they give you a problem,
yeah,
you know, and then now that's you. That happened to me. I was given a problem that I did not know about, and
that's happened to me 4 times this year. Coming behind 4 different contractors on 4 different job sites. And had to clean up the mess. And
I think it's easier on that though than somebody that just bought a new house, you know, and they're like, you know, like I was there working, and they're like, you fuck.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no. I think this was a problem before I got here. Like, look at what's going on, and then come to find out the Drainage Commission had something to do with this, and it's like, okay,
it's not about work you can do; it's about work you can document. You've done. Pictures, write a daily log of everything you do.
That's a big deal, documenting.
Yeah, dude.
Especially with that little irrigation thing you had going on.
Bruh.
Mm-hmm. That could be annoying and a nuisance. It costs a little bit more than you're wanting it to.
$20,000 a year is what I pay in a software to document everything, and that's for the superintendents. And just yesterday, I was like, man, there's some different ways we can utilize this and putting pressure on the superintendents where it's not so direct at the project manager's level, and put it down at the superintendent's level. Hey, we have got to have this storm drain in by the 12th. It bills on the 20th. Well, right now it was just on, Dalton to make sure that they got done. No, that shouldn't be right. The superintendent should also be on the same level as Dalton. You bet. And it's all about those systems, but who's putting them in place? Me. So,
well, you kind of have a crew of good people that
I have an incredible team.
That seem to
speak on them all the time, man.
They it sounds like they help you with that a little bit.
Oh, yeah. I'd be nowhere without them. I would be nowhere without my team. But I've spent a lot of money building them to who they are, and I've invested a lot in it.
I like what you said when we were at the driveway the other day. You're like, I'm not going to call one of the operators to ask that question.
We
to stay in my
What Austin's referencing is this is actually funny, because I used to catch myself screwing my own systems all the time, because me and Austin,
other people are going to do
exactly because who's the leader?
You,
big dog. So we pull up to a driveway. This resi driveway you guys can watch on YouTube, a couple videos. But I had a question about where something was and how the operator did it. And Austin's like, well, just call him. I'm like, no. I don't just call my operator or my superintendent of that job. I'm going to call my project manager. And my project manager speaks to my superintendents. Now, if there's something I need to go safety issue or something of course, I'm going straight to the source. No issue there. But if it is a systematic procedure about how we get our work done, absolutely, I have to follow the same channels that I put in place. But why should it just, about getting this work done? Dalton's had a lot on his shoulders at the project manager level of, okay, we need to hit here. And then I've got my administration level, ops and admin, going back and forth, because admin can't bill out because ops is running into all these issues, et cetera, but not giving admin enough time. And so I've got these two waters that I have to display both sides. But man, it's been so much fun. Man, this has been a great little episode. I know we've been kind of all over the place, guys. I
don't think we finished anything.
I don't think we probably finished anything, but that just leaves room for another a call. Really, guys, I appreciate you. If you've lasted all the way to the end, I really appreciate you guys. And I hope this has helped in some way, somehow. And you'll see Austin again. He'll jump on here, I would assume, at some point later on in the year, if not next year. And we'll see how he's doing it.
You guys take a full month off of the winter.
He's this guy. Go check him out. Stabler Excavating on Instagram. You're on LinkedIn as well. Anywhere else?
I haven't done it my job on LinkedIn yet. That's important. I know it is.
Well, that's super important, bro.
I have some little videos on TikTok. Nothing serious.
Okay. Some TikTok stuff, some Instagram stuff. That's one of the things you're starting to really work on with your marketing guy. You got your website build. What's that? StablerExcavating.com?
Yep.
Beautiful. Go check him out, guys. Give him some love. And until next time, I really appreciate you guys tuning in. If you've enjoyed this episode, be sure to give it a like, share it with the fellers, check out our website to send us any questions and comments about your experience in the blue-collar business. Who do you want to hear from? Send them our way, and we'll do our best to answer any questions you may have. Till next time, guys.